little better than they were, you know?
Are these all jalapeno stuff? No. Oh, there's shishitos down here. Let me see if that camera is pointing. On there. They're camouflage. Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to work? You ready? You're a better weed whacker than I am.
Because I've had a lot more practice.
I just watched you tear that apart. That was awesome. Now I can harvest sweet potatoes.
Thanks.
We're gonna go get the pigs some water real quick. You're gonna go, let me guess, you're gonna go terrorize this batch?
Yeah, I am.
You enjoy that? Nighttime. Alright guys, so the seasons are changing. So what we're doing today, we are putting this lower garden to rest. The tomatoes are obviously done. Mabel's working on some of those trellises right now. We're going to take them all the way down. Peppers are still rolling for a little bit longer, but as it gets cool I foresee that ending. We're also going to dig this big sweet potato patch back here. I wouldn't call them sweet potatoes, I'd call them sweet fingerlings. They're pretty small, but they really taste good still. I think the problem with this is that our soil was a little too rocky. You can see these rocks that we picked. But essentially sweet potatoes do not like to grow in those rocks. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna empty the sweet potato area. We're gonna do some general cleanup all over this place, kind of tighten it up. And then I think our next step after that in the garden beds is we're gonna throw some either cow manure or maybe some more good soil over the top and get it mulched for winter. Other plans are working on these hugelkulturs in the future. I think we're gonna make those into raised beds, and that might actually be a better place to grow the sweet potatoes next year. What do you think? So we're gonna take those trellises down. We are gonna put this whole area night-night for the fall winter. We're still growing some stuff up in the upper garden, greens and such, but down here I think we're done for the year. So we're gonna get some of those projects done. I'm gonna start by digging some potatoes. Yeah, you like your new little tool?
Yeah, it's fun. Thank you, Margie. What kind of mushrooms are those?
I don't know, but there's a ton of them. Okay, so these are looking a little better than they were. I mean, they're still not huge, they're not tiny. Keep going. Hey, Brian. So what do you see now that we've cleared this out a little bit? It's a lot of space, right?
Oh, this garden is huge. My new weed whacker is cool.
Your
My daddy brought a weed whacker with him.
It's a beast.
My parents are here now.
We got more help.
I know. And they brought a weed whacker.
Sweet. As well as many other things.
It's like a mega weed whacker.
Yeah. You had it. I mean, you have to wear straps. That's serious.
I know.
So anyway, we are getting this area cleaned up. We got the trellises down. I think we're gonna try and maintain the rows if we can. And then we're just gonna cover it and hope that it's ready for next year.
There's a lot of wood chips.
There is a lot of wood chips, so it's already kind of pre-mulched. So we're gonna clean this up a little more. We've got about 1 dinner's worth of yield on our sweet potatoes. But you know what? We're learning. It's a learning experience.
Tomatoes.
The ever-going North Carolina battle.
It really is. So we put a lot of work into those tomatoes. We start seeds at the end of February, taking care of all those babies,
Transplanting them.
transplanting them out, trellising them up. It's
All
a lot of work.
We brought in all the soil, or
Oh,
the
we
compost,
did.
and the wood chips. Thank you, Dave.
I'm just not quite sure
That was the best way.
I'm just not quite sure that we got the return, the investment, you know?
Yeah.
Return on investment, ROI. I'm
ROI.
not sure that
We didn't get the ROI. Wow.
was quite on.
Is this a business channel now?
The return on investment has not been very good. In California, we would have had buckets and buckets and
Well,
buckets.
last year, I feel like last year we had more tomatoes. But we might have had more plants.
It was also a very wet year this year.
Yeah.
Early.
And we had a big wind, and it really just, I think our string wasn't strong enough. There's a lot of things that we were fighting against on this tomato run.
And so, basically, all of that to say that we might need to rethink tomatoes and how we do tomatoes. Whether that be doing them undercover
Or in a high tunnel of some sorts.
or in a high, yeah, well, that would be.
That would be undercover. That was just a version of undercover, you know?
Oh, doing them in a high tunnel, I think, would make a big difference.
Yeah.
Just because they were so wet that they just didn't make it. They didn't.
Yeah.
Tomato plants don't like to be wet. And so I think we're learning why a lot of people don't do a lot of tomatoes around here.
But we are going to keep trying because we like tomatoes and we like to use tomatoes and we like to store tomatoes.
So that's the deal on the tomatoes. We're getting these all cleared out and combed over, and we'll leave these beds for whatever we decide to put here next year.
Maybe we'll put something in the spring.
So that's tomatoes. The peppers did good. They had a later start. I think there was way too many wood chips in that soil.
Yep.
I don't think that the peppers like the wood chips. And so we need to make sure that we get them good soil.
Because the plants didn't get very big.
Well, they almost died, and then they came back. So we got a late start on peppers, but they're still going until we have a frost. They should be good. We've learned that the sweet potatoes need a little better soil.
Well, the guy at the store said, just put them in any soil. It doesn't matter, but I think maybe he didn't realize how rocky our soil is.
We have a lot of rocks. And the rocks just keep coming, man. Like, I feel like you get them all out, and then there's a new layer.
They multiply.
So anyways, I think we're going to have to raise that up and put some good soil on top in order to do sweet potatoes better. I would like to do a lot more sweet potatoes next year.
I feel like if we did some raised beds with them, or even on the hugelkulturs and build them up around them.
The hugelkulturs, if you guys remember, if you've been watching our channel, we worked really hard on building these hugelkulturs 2 years in a row. This last year, the chickens got them. And when chickens escape on hugelkulturs, they just scratch it down into a big flat pile.
So all the dirt we put on top.
That was depressing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're learning about hugelkulturs. I think we might need to make these into beds. I don't know if that's going to happen this year. That's quite the investment.
We don't quite know how we want them to look.
But I think
we like where they are.
I think that that's kind of the end goal with the hugelkulturs, is that they will be raised beds at some point. We have to decide what we want to build them out of. If we want to do, I'm not sure if I want to do logs or wood or metal
combo.
I don't know what I want to do, but I want it to be pretty.
No pressure.
So we're figuring it out. You know, slowly but surely we are making this space a lot different. This was not a manageable space before, and it is getting more and more manageable. I'm able to mow a lot of it. We're able to weed whack a lot of it. So we're making progress.
Yeah, this lower garden has really kind of come around. Like
Yeah.
it feels like once you got that section weed whacked today, it almost looks like you doubled our space. And we're not even using that area yet. Now that area is full of rocks, so I wouldn't say it's quite usable for a garden, but it's usable space.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like we might have to put raised beds to make this area work. But they always gardened here.
Yeah.
They also tilled it. I don't know how they tilled it, man.
It probably sound like a machine gun going off.
Probably broke their tiller several times.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I guess if you got like a tractor, like a big tractor tiller.
Yeah.
There are a lot of rocks in this soil. One thing that we did that was really beneficial was the silage tarp.
Yeah. That did help get areas ready to grow in, and even if the rocks were, at least we were just fighting just the rocks instead of weeds and rocks.
Right? Yeah.
So we'll probably use that again to get started in areas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that now, as we get this place cleared out, it's kind of a empty canvas, and we get to reassess, you know, what we've done years before. We've arranged it a little bit differently. I think we might take out another tree.
Yeah, probably one of those trees will go.
We might take out one more tree this year. I think we'll clean up the edges and the borders. I would love to get the creek cleaned up a little bit.
So there's a lot of good goals down here. This is a good project.
So it's time to start kind of looking at what we want down here next year.
Does that mean we could do some of these projects in the winter?
Yeah, getting it ready, man. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Got it.
We've just been underwater for a couple years.
Got it. Are you still supposed to rest in winter a little?
I think so.
We'll see if we do that.
We're not very good at that.
You get stir crazy. I mean, I'll have coffee with you in front of the wood stove in the morning when it's cold.
That's it for this lower garden. We are going to finish getting it all cleared up, and it is pretty much done for the year. We're not growing anything else down here. We have a few things up top, kind of fall winter stuff.
Yeah, like greens and radishes, carrots.
I don't know. This year was not as profitable garden-wise.
We had a lot of other little
The
projects.
ROI this year was down. It's my favorite term.
Ben and Brienne's business channel, Garden ROI. The time we put in did not yield as much as we would have liked.
Garden did not.
I mean, we did, but there were some highlights. But the garlic.
It's almost time to put garlic in again.
Vampire
I want to do a
garlic.
lot more garlic and a lot more potatoes and a lot more onions.
The potatoes not going yet though, right?
No.
Those go in
Onions
the
and
spring.
potatoes both go in the early spring.
But the garlic goes over winter.
Anyways, thanks for being with us as we clean up our lower garden.
I think it might be a good change from a barn build because we've been doing that for a while.